Welcome to another reaction of the Top Corner podcast. We try to give you a lot of content, going for podcasts.
So much. We do so much for you.
A lot of football things
God, so
going
much.
on. And try to make you discover new players too. I don't know you know about him, and if you know, that's good. If you don't know
about this guy, you're a
appreciate the
fucking
magic.
idiot. How about
Yeah.
that? How's that sound?
This is the guy you refer to, the real Ronaldo, as
Ooh.
some guys will refer to. Yeah,
That's a hot button thing to say now,
a
though.
lot of play. Yeah. Let me get a good gunshot.
Shots. Oh no. Sorry over there.
But for the guys that don't do that, we say the big Ronaldo because he became fat. But let's hit it.
Really fast though. One thing about this man, especially his haircut.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I didn't follow the sport at all. But a lot of kids at my school did.
Oh, for real?
So yeah, well I didn't know it at the time, but they had this fucking haircut, the shaved head with the little triangle up top. And I'm like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm like, man, what a hairdo! This is spectacular.
You know what's crazy? Because we used to go to this guy, my dad, who take us to go have a cut, and he would always tell the guys, "You can be creative." I was like, "What?" But I'm a kid, so
yeah.
So at the time, I would just get a bald head, nothing. And
Damn.
this one guy,
like shaved, or just like very short.
As a kid. Nothing until at some point I started doing what my dad was doing, like the boozy fade. I don't know if you know about the boozy fade, but kind of like that.
Okay.
But I went to this one guy, and I think Ronaldo was hot. What was this year? Probably 2000. This guy did me the freaking big thing.
Yeah.
And I was walking around in class, and everybody was ghosting me. They're like, "You thought you were gonna be Ronaldo, huh?"
And you're like, I had the idea to, but damn it.
I was
That's
so
great.
mad at my dad.
That's great. All right, you gonna hit this?
Yeah.
Of all the legends I've ever made videos about, there has always been one that, even when compared to others, stands on a league of his own. A player that had it all, and who many consider to be the most complete footballer of all time.
my goodness.
Completely unstoppable, able to dance
I was
with the
gonna
ball at his
post it.
feet, and almost impossible to defend. No
He said he
matter
was
the
a
stage,
joke.
He proved time and time again that he was special. A player who, regardless of rules or era, would unquestionably dominate. Hey guys, what's up? It's Raymar, and today, after
Hi,
so many
Raymar.
of you have been asking,
Thank you, Raymar, for not being a bitch like UEFA.
look at how good
God,
was
they're such
Ronaldo,
bitches.
the Phenomeno.
I wonder where he gets his stuff too, though.
What?
Oh,
Ronaldo
FIFA,
was
probably
born
FIFA.
to be the perfect footballer. From the very beginning, as early as he can remember, he would be groomed by the streets of Rio de Janeiro his entire childhood. Ronaldo was so passionate about football that his mother, Sonia, would recall his childhood days saying, "I always found him on the streets, playing with his friends when he should have been in school." When he was 11 years old, Ronaldo's parents would go through a divorce, which
That's what I
led
showed
Ronaldo
down.
to drop out of school completely.
Just said, "Screw you."
Imagine for an 11-year-old, pretty tough.
She seems alright with it.
Football would be Ronaldo's go-to,
My
his
mom would
escape,
kill
and
me.
his saving grace no matter the circumstance. This dedication and passion for the game made him blessed by the football gods. The football loved him just as much as he
I
loved
was
the
gonna
game.
put that
At
guy
the
also
age of
became
12,
a
Ronaldo would join
Fabinho.
a local indoor futsal team called Social Ramos and go on to score 166 goals on his first season, which included a time where he scored a mind-blowing 11 out of his team's 12 total goals in
Wow.
a single match. Like, just imagine how the players on the other team must have felt watching that. To be honest, I probably would have left after that 10th goal. Because he grew up playing on the streets, futsal was his first love when it came to the game. It's where he said he learned to be able to control the ball
Wow.
and move in the tightest of spaces, along with
That's why
learning to
Brazilian
have an
is so
incredibly
good.
soft
Until today.
touch. After
So
playing
technical.
in
So
many
naturally
ways,
technical,
even
yeah.
paving his entire childhood, forcing him to master his control of the ball. The young Ronaldo would eventually be spotted by Brazilian legend Jairzinho, who, if you didn't know, led his country in scoring in the 1970 World Cup, even though he had Pelé as a teammate, which can only attest to his ability. When Jairzinho saw the young Ronaldo, he saw a player with incredible potential, a kid who just seemed different from all the others. So naturally, he knew that he had to have the young Ronaldo on his team. Jairzinho would quickly recognize the pure talent and skill that the young child prodigy Ronaldo had, and recommended that the 16-year-old should join his former club, Cruzeiro. However, Ronaldo had always wanted to play for Flamengo, a Brazilian team he supported ever since he was a child, and also a club where Brazilian legends like Zizinho once played. However, Flamengo never decided
You know how
to
good
wait
the
and give
Brazilians were
Ronaldo
back
a
in
chance.
this?
Jairzinho would push Ronaldo to play
They
for
were so
Cruzeiro
good that
anyways, and speak
you
to the club
wanted.
with a
They had
personal
one
recommendation
trademark.
to eventually get him
It
signed.
was Ronaldo,
This would finally
Zizinho,
take us to
Fabinho.
Ronaldo's
Was
senior
always
career.
ending
At
with
the
Neo.
incredible
Yeah, yeah.
age of only
Inyo.
16,
Oh, with
Ronaldo
O's.
would make his professional debut for Cruzeiro. I mean, when I was 16, I was still playing Pokemon on my Nintendo DS. Could you just imagine being that young and playing against fully grown men? It would take Ronaldo only a few months to gain national attention when he would score 5 goals in a
But now the players in their late 20s are still playing video games. So it's like that's just the way it is now.
Yeah.
Cafu recalls seeing Ronaldo play for the first time, saying he was still a kid. It was in a game where he ended up scoring 5 goals. From that point on, he showed that he was truly a phenomenon. By this point, Flamengo realized just how big of a mistake they made by not giving Ronaldo a chance. Because in his 2 seasons for Cruzeiro, Ronaldo would score an amazing 44 goals in 47 games.
Jesus.
An incredible goal-scoring ratio of .94 goals a game at
Good
the
queen.
age of 16.
Yeah, that's
helping
wild.
His club, which was by no means a real contender, win the Brazilian Cup. Ronaldo, as a 17-year-old, was asked to join the Brazilian national team for their 1994 World Cup run. Brazil would go on to win that World Cup, in which Ronaldo did not play at all, or for that matter, wasn't really even needed. But the experience of his seniors and multiple legends on that team would help mentor him as much as they could, along with giving Ronaldo a taste at world victory. After the 1994 World Cup, Ronaldo would move to the Netherlands to play for PSV Eindhoven, after former Brazilian teammate and legend Romario, who won the 1994 World Player of the
Those
Year
goofy
and
ass teeth.
1994 World Cup Golden Boot and Golden Ball, would recommend Ronaldo to
Snaggle
play for the
tooth.
club, as he himself had
It doesn't
played for
matter.
them. Ronaldo would continue his absolutely phenomenal play by scoring 35 goals in 36 appearances in his first season in the Eredivisie,
Jesus.
an insane
Yeah, he was
.97
good.
goals per game ratio. In fact, after scoring a hat-trick in the UEFA Cup against Bayern Leverkusen, German World Cup winner Rudi Völler said, "Never in my life have I seen an 18-year-old play this way."
Just
With
sat everyone
so
down.
skilled at dribbling
Yeah,
the
if you do
ball,
that
it was
to me,
like
I'm
it was
taking
glued
your
to
ankle.
his feet, with
Yep.
some even saying that it seemed like he was even faster dribbling the ball than running without it. His second season at PSV would see him suffer the first injury of his career, causing him to play nearly 50% less matches than last season.
Goalkeepers should just
Nevertheless,
stay on their asses, I
Ronaldo
think.
went down, managed
No
to
point in getting
score
up.
19 goals in 21 games, still nearly a goal per game ratio, all at the age of 19. Before he would even turn 21, he broke the world record transfer fee of 19.5 million euros, which back in 1996 was an absolutely insane amount of money. When Barcelona decided to go all out and grab him, he would be worth every single cent and more, as during his
Yeah,
first
he said
season,
19.
Ronaldo scored an insane
30 years ago,
47
that's
goals in
almost
49 appearances,
50 to
making him
55
the
million
only
now,
top
which is still
scorer
not bad at
winning
all.
the European Golden Boot. He would also
How
help
did you
Barcelona
come up
win
with
the
that number?
UEFA Cup and
And
Euro final
it's lofty, but that's kind of how our
Spanish
inflation's
Cup
worked over the
and
last
Copa del
30 and
Rey,
40 years.
all at 20 years old. Ronaldo was at his physical prime at Barcelona, being insanely fast and strong, along with having the perfect size for a forward to be able to body defenders trying to get rough. And often, many of his goals would include him running around the goalkeeper like he was playing. An Atletico Madrid player,
Sit down.
That's what I'm saying, just like,
as a kid, I wanted to be
don't
Pepe. I bought all
stand
the
up at
books,
all. Just
the
flop like a
videos,
fish on the
and I did
ground.
what I could to be like the best. I set off on that path. Then I met Ronaldo. Some players were technical, some were quick, some were strong, some were smart. Ronaldo was all of those, which was absolutely true. Players would even try to follow him, but his quick movement, size, and strength combined with his incredible dribbling brushed defenders off like nothing. Jose Mourinho, back when he worked for FC Barcelona when Ronaldo was playing there, would say, "I have no doubt Ronaldo is the greatest player I have ever seen in my life." And he would later confirm the same thing in an interview back in 2014. Ronaldo's
He actually
first and
would
only
confirm
season
it
with
too.
Barcelona saw him as the youngest player to ever win the FIFA World Player
Get
of
those
the
keepers
Year.
some roller skates or
However,
something.
he would only play second
Need
in
some help.
Ballon d'Or voting, losing to Matthias Samar of Borussia Dortmund by a single vote. That's right, by a single vote. By the end of his career, Ronaldo would have had 3 Ballon d'Ors if he had won that one. which he clearly
Oh,
deserved in my
great
opinion.
angle.
The very next season in 1997, Ronaldo would once again break the world record transfer fee in back-to-back years, being the only player to ever do so. That's just how valuable he was. Inter Milan decided to go all out themselves and pay a 27 million euro fee to get him. While his goal scoring numbers weren't as high, they were definitely great as he was transitioning into the Serie A, which back then was considered the most heavily defensive league.
Yeah, I was gonna say like your numbers will drop in the higher the league that you go to. It's just how much does it drop?
Which is still an amazing 0.72 goals per game
Yeah,
ratio.
that's
Ronaldo
insane
also learned to become
for that
a
quality of the
more
league.
And
racking up assists and taking
get in
and
mind,
scoring free
he was
kicks.
playing
In his
in
first
the
season with
most
Inter Milan, he would be
prolific
rightfully handed
Serie
the
A of
FIFA
all time.
World
Yeah,
Player
yeah,
of the Year
big
award,
era for
as
defense.
well
Oh
as
yeah,
not
man.
only winning
That's what I'm saying. Like
the
even
Ballon d'Or,
that number in
but
general
being
is
the
wild.
youngest player to
But for
ever
that
win the
time
award
in
at
that
20
league
years
and what
old,
defense meant in
which,
that
and
league,
I can't stress
it's
enough,
absolutely
should have
unbelievable.
been his second Ballon d'Or, as he definitely deserved the one in 1996 as well. In 1998, Ronaldo was already considered the undisputed greatest striker in the world. At just
His step
22
over
years
was
old,
different
he was
from
already
Cristiano.
appointed as the
Yeah.
captain of
His
his
step
Inter
over is
Milan
like the
squad.
ball sticks
And
to
although
his
he was
legs
struggling
when he
and
moves.
suffering
Yeah.
a few injuries at this time and missing some games, he would still
And it's like
score
like
15 goals in
I don't want to make it
20
sound like it's a bad thing, but like he's a little less graceful. But what that means is that he's more powerful, and there's no way of you trying to figure out the exact movement, because if you try to figure out the movement, he can just bulldoze past you. He's just so much more versatile in that way.
But regardless of that, nobody
Oh,
questioned
you
Ronaldo's
probably need to
skills
see a
for
video.
even a moment. However, in 1999,
France-
Ronaldo, who seemed absolutely unstoppable,
France
infamously
defenders were
began
trying to
suffer
figure
a
how to
string
defend
of
him.
severe injuries.
They were like-
Ronaldo would limp off
They hired a sniper.
a lot of matches,
No, they were
only
like,
to
"There's no
discover
way."
that he suffered
Yeah.
a
Like that, he
ruptured
does that.
tendon in his
Mhm.
knee and required a major surgery. He would be gone for half a year until he would play the first leg of a Coppa Italia match. As history would have it, it was way too early for Inter Milan to let him play, as after only 6 minutes, he collapsed on the floor and the world would learn that he suffered a complete rupture of his kneecap tendons. It was so impactful that opposing players like Diego Simeone even went up to him to help the young star. Like I said,
Yeah.
Ronaldo was never a player that people hated, so even for opposing players, it was just
Nothing scarier than like an immediate re-injuring of something like that. You spent how many months looking after it, and you just take one wrong step, and it's all
mentally
right
too.
back to the beginning. Yeah.
Ronaldo would never be the same. That he would lose his
Oh.
touch, skill, and eye for goal. However, the 2002 World Cup would shock the entire world and forever establish his name as the phenomenon. Prior to the World Cup, Brazil was doing horrendous, and to many, were lucky to even qualify for the tournament. But with Ronaldo playing, it was a different story. He would lead his country to the 2002 World Cup trophy, scoring in every match except in the quarterfinals.
I can't handle the haircut.
Ultimately ending with 8
Flashbacks.
goals and winning the tournament's Golden Boot. His comeback was talked about all over the world and would earn him the 2002 FIFA World Player of the Year award and the 2002 Ballon d'Or, which nobody questioned at all. And I just have to remind you guys again, should have been his third Ballon d'Or. When Ronaldo signed with Real Madrid after the World Cup, his jersey sales would break all records on the very first day. Ronaldo would score in the final season match for Real Madrid, winning them the La Liga title, as well as scoring in the
Yeah, you ain't
Intercontinental
getting
Cup
that.
and
No.
Spanish Super Cup finals. Ronaldo would also famously score a hat-trick against Manchester United in the Champions League quarterfinal, which caused the entirety of Old Trafford to stand
That was
and
nice.
give him a loud applause as he exited the game on the 80th minute. In the Champions League semi-final, he scored a goal and helped Real Madrid win 2-1 over Juventus on the first leg, but received an injury and wouldn't play during their second meeting, much to the demise of Real Madrid, as without him, they were eliminated from the competition. He would end his first season in Madrid scoring 30 goals and having 8 assists in 44 appearances, a .68 goals per game ratio. The next season, Ronaldo was visibly different. He seemed like he gained a lot of weight compared to his physical peak prior to the injuries that destroyed his knees. However, not too many people took too much attention to it at the time, as he was still doing what he did best, scoring beautiful goals. Real Madrid were actually on track to win a treble in Ronaldo's second season, but injuries again prevented him from reaching further.
Yeah, you just have to
accomplishments. He would miss
rearrange your
the
play
World
style
Cup
for what your body can accommodate, and hope that your natural skill and training in other modes can cover up for it.
Season he scored that iconic 15-second goal, Ronaldo would still manage 31 goals and 13 assists in 48 matches, a .65 goals per game ratio, which was still impressive considering all the stars Madrid had during their Galacticos era that individually could all find their own ways of getting the ball
He
in
was
the back
so
of the
good
net.
in tight
Within the
spaces.
next
Yeah,
season,
I just couldn't take it off him.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's performances would gradually decrease over the years, scoring less and less while also noticeably losing pace
no.
and gaining a lot.
Oh, that's brutal.
In fact,
That's
during
brutal.
his 2 final seasons of Real Madrid, he would only play a total of 40 matches, which is less than he played on his 3rd season alone. Although, even with this, it by no means meant that he performed poorly for Madrid at all.
I was gonna say, like,
Taking
they're still not
50 goals per game
bad
ratio
numbers.
up until his final season, where he managed to make only 15 appearances. Unfortunately, Madrid fans could see the end of the road for Ronaldo at the Bernabeu. His final years at Real Madrid were plagued with injuries, fitness issues, and
Injuries is
substantial
just the
weight gain.
worst.
Yeah.
Although he still had the skill, unfortunately, Ronaldo's body simply couldn't keep up with it. And with this, Ronaldo would depart Real Madrid in 2007 and head back to Italy to play for
Still
AC
for
Milan.
another
Despite the
A-list
lack of
club.
fitness, Ronaldo
Even when they know that
still
you're not
managed to
playing
score
at your
7
peak and that
goals
you
in
are
14
injury prone at that
matches, a
point,
testament
they'll
to
still
his
take you.
pure skill alone.
Could you do that?
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Freaking podgy.
He was
Wild.
diagnosed with hyperthyroidism. And for anyone who doesn't know, it slows down a person's metabolism extremely,
yeah.
making it very easy to gain weight in a short amount of time and much more difficult for you to lose it. This condition was diagnosed in 2007, but, as many expect, could have been present with Ronaldo ever since 2003. After his World Cup winning year, Ronaldo's 2nd season for AC Milan saw him playing
should have let
less
the
than
Afro thing.
300
He had
minutes,
it going
which
on.
for anyone who
Yeah,
witnessed him
yeah.
in his prime was truly
Look at
a
that
saddening
Kaka.
sight.
Mhm.
During a
Woo.
match, he would once again suffer a horrifying knee injury that required him to get wheeled
Oh.
directly to the hospital.
That's what? That's
where
2 in
he
each
didn't play
at this
football
point, right?
for several
I think.
months
He had
once
2
again.
knees,
Ronaldo
ankle
finally came
1.
back to
He had
Brazil
so
in
many
the
Yeah.
last 3 years of his career. In 2009, if you were to look at Ronaldo and didn't know any better, you would think that he was already retired, as his weight gain was
Damn,
even
man.
more severe.
Come on, Raymar.
3 seasons
Take it easy. He's still alive. He's got a family.
to help them win the Brazilian
Be
Cup
nice.
in 2009. Although clearly a shadow of what he was before, Ronaldo was still loved by the people to no end. Every single game he scored in sent fans absolutely wild with happiness at just seeing their idol score once more. In fact, in his first season, he scored 8 goals in 9 matches.
Oh, man.
leading the citizens to request the Brazilian national team to call
I try to
him
take your
just
knees over
one
that one.
more
I already know you got 2 bad knees.
That's just how much the people of Brazil respected and loved him. They knew he wasn't there to score and dominate like he used to, but to just see him touch the ball and even score,
He
made
just
the
wanted
fans
that
go
feel,
absolutely
so
wild.
they call him
Watching
to the
score
national
some
team.
of
That's
the
Oh my
crazy.
God,
last
they broke the
years of his
stanchion on
career,
that.
You can't help but just smile, as you can feel just how special of a moment it is for not only himself, but his fans and peers as well. Ronaldo announced his retirement in 2011, saying that his hyperthyroidism had gotten the best of him, and the many severely crippling injuries he received throughout his career were just too much for his body to handle. To this day,
Damn.
Ronaldo remains one of the most iconic players ever, and to some, he was even the greatest. For me, I believe he was the most perfect and complete forward that has ever played. His ability to score, dribble, and finish on top of his strength and speed in his prime, at least to me, is on a class of its own. He wasn't lucky enough to win the Champions League because of crucial injuries and unfortunate times, but that doesn't take anything away from his career. Ronaldo would certainly be my main choice as the starting forward for my all-time 11, and I have no doubt in my mind that he certainly belongs there. If anything, Ronaldo's story only makes me appreciate players I loved watching even more. We never know when something might happen to them or when they'll finally hang their boots for the last time. That's why I made it my mission to watch my favorite players for as long as I can.
That was Ronaldo El Fenomeno. You know, one thing that I really liked about the old football, when you were so good, you had a nickname.
Yeah.
It had that feeling of you are the wizard. You are the guy we need in time.
I thought you said Weasel at first. I was like, damn, that's badass.
No.
The Weasel.
The wizard.
Freddy the Weasel. Sounds like a mobster.
Yeah. So you were the guy they were looking at in times of turmoil.
Yeah.
When anything wasn't working out on the pitch, they looked at you. I
Yeah.
mean, El Fenomeno. You had how'd you call it? Pilo was the architect.
Yeah.
He was so good in that midfield that they just like
The dickhead. There he is. That's just me. Sorry.
So it was good, and like he said, Ronaldo, if you take in terms on everything, and everyone have always said it, and he's the only player that, although we never saw the peak and full potential, everyone that came across or saw him or had contact or trained him always said this. Even when they trained the greats, look, man, Mourinho saw a lot of greats in his life.
Oh yeah.
And I always tell you one thing: he was the most talented player in terms of just as a center forward. In terms of being quick is different from fast. In terms of being quick, in terms of being fast, in terms of being strong, in terms of dribbling, in terms of efficiency, in terms of converting, in terms of IQ, in terms of timing.
Oh yeah,
he was good.
Well, and then
he 99% max.
Well, I think arguably the most important thing about what we're discussing here is that the things that held him back were not his control. Like it was not his dedication. It was not how seriously he took things. It wasn't personal issues. It really was just health and bad luck. Yeah. And that's the important thing as well, because you do have other players, other Brazilian players that could have, I'm talking about Neymar, a very, very, very strong legacy, but they themselves got in their own way. He didn't get in his own way.
I feel like Brazilians, right? I feel it's also because of the environment, because most of them are not trained and didn't come from the academy. Have some sort of discipline. So most of them
very raw, very natural. And they just get integrated in the system.
I just feel like because of that, and especially a lot of them are from the street. They get money. There's that potential, the skill set, and they start partying, not taking stuff serious. I feel like that's a thing they have to start implementing. Although it's difficult, because when someone make it and coming from the street, it's different. Because even him, Mourinho said he didn't train. He trained just 1 hour. That was it. Yeah. He would go party, and that's a lot of career killers for Brazilian, especially.
You got to be able to, like, if you're going to do that, you have to be able to do both.
Yeah.
And not everybody can do that.
Yeah. Well, guys, this was a reaction to Ronaldo El Fenomeno. And if you don't know anything about that guy, I encourage you very, very much. That's a gateway. That's an entry 101 to the greats of this sport.
He's like the marijuana of football players. He's the gateway drug.
You gotta go in there. I feel like
we should do that. We should rank footballers based on like a drug categorical system.
That would be good for sure.
Who's the fucking heroine? Who's the one that just destroys your life once you get too close to him? We'll see.
That would be a fun one.
That's so stupid. All right, everybody.
Yeah. All right, guys, go follow us. Go subscribe. Go watch this reaction.
Yes.
And to the next time.
Bye, bitches.